Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video we have a tutorial for the Chic Whimsy Blouse. I do love how this blouse turned out in the end, and I hope you like it too and you want to make it. Let's get started. For this blouse I used Friends Mercerized cotton by Hobbii and a 4.5mm crochet hook. This blouse is worked out of two panels, back and front panel, and we will begin now with the back panel. I'm chaining the number of stitches required for the size that I'm making, and I'm making size small. If you want to adjust the number of stitches, you need to know that the stitch pattern requires a multiple of 3 + 1 stitches. I will chain one more, and then I will work a foundation row in single crochet. I found that it's easier if I have a row in single crochet to build my pattern with. So now I am just working one single crochet into each stitch to the end of the row. Now we will start to build our pattern, so we will chain 3 at the end of the single crochet row, and then into the same first stitch we will work a single crochet. Then skip the next 2 stitches, and into the third we will work a single crochet V-stitch. So single crochet, chain 3, and another single crochet stitch. Then again I will skip 2 stitches and I will work one single crochet, chain 3, and another single crochet into the same stitch, and we will repeat this section until we have 3 stitches left. We will finish this row with the same half single crochet V-stitch that we did at the beginning of the row, only that at the beginning of the row we worked with a chain instead of single crochet. You'll see right away. So now we will continue to work this stitch pattern until we have 3 stitches left. Now we are at the end of the row. I have 3 stitches left, and into the last stitch I will work one single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet into the same last stitch. Now chain 3 and turn. Into the first 2 chain space we will work a single crochet, and then we will work one single crochet, chain 3, one single crochet in each 3 chain space until the last stitch at the end of the row. At the end of the row we have that single crochet and chain 3 as we started our previous row, and in that 2 chain space we will work the final stitch of the row. So in that last stitch. So I will continue to work single crochet V-stitch, and into the last 2 chain space I will work one single crochet, chain 2, and then a single crochet into the first chain of the chain 3 that we work at the beginning of the row. And now we will chain 3 and turn, work the single crochet into the 2 chain space, and we will repeat row 2. So the second row in single crochet V-stitch. We're not counting the first single crochet row that we did at the beginning. and we will continue until we have the desired length up to the armpit. In this particular pattern, I consider 49 rows in V-stitch for all the sizes, but if you want to adjust the length, then feel free to work more rows up to the armpit. Now we will decrease a few stitches for the armpit. For the size small that I'm making, I will decrease 3 stitches. 3 stitches, counting the first half V-stitch as 1 stitch. Again, feel free to adjust the armpit stitches that you want to decrease according with your preferences. I just calculated the amount of stitches that needed to be decreased according with the panel width. So I chained 1 and turn, and I will work 1 single crochet into the first 2 chain space, then chain 2 and work a single crochet into the next 3 chain space. So I have new 2 that I decreased. Now I chain 2 and 1 single crochet into the third space, and this is the hold or decrease. But now I will chain 2 and go with a single crochet into the next stitch, and I will begin now my established pattern. So I single crochet, chain 2 and 1 single crochet is half of the V-stitch. And now we will continue into the established stitch pattern until we have 3 full V-stitches left, because we will need to work into that last V-stitch. We need to work the final stitch of the row. I hope it makes sense. So now I will repeat until I will be at the 4th over here before, so the 4th V-stitch. So into the 4th V-stitch I will work single crochet, chain 2 and a single crochet, and then I need to straighten these V-stitches as well. So I will go with chain 2, 1 single crochet into the 3 chain space, or the chain space, because we are working into the last one as well. And now I will need to turn right away and work slip stitches over here. So I will have 9 in total, 9 slip stitches, because I just need to position the yarn into that to skip basically this armpit stitches. So I will try to go through every chain and single crochet to just work this slip stitches and skip the armpit stitches. On the other end, the slip stitches won't be necessary, only at the beginning of the row. At the other end, we will simply stop into that half single crochet V-stitch that is at the end of the row. I finish with the slip stitches. I'm going with 1 more into the chain space, and I will begin my row as usual with chain 3 and 1 single crochet into the same space. Now we will continue with the stitch pattern until we have that last stitch, half of the single crochet V-stitch, before the skipped stitches, those with single crochet and chain 2. And this will be the second row of our armhole depth, because we need to count this 2 as well. Yeah, so I will need to go, here is the last stitch, the last chain 2 space, where I will need to go with that single crochet, chain 2 and another single crochet into the same stitch. And now we will chain 3 and turn, and we will continue to work into the established pattern. For the armhole depth, I will work in total for my size 25 rows. You'll have to work a different amount of rows depending on the size that you are working. Now that we finished the armhole depth, we have to work one more row to straighten this edge of the back panel, and I will chain just one and turn. And to straighten this edge, we will work that single crochet to chain that we did at the armpit. So I will work one single crochet into the first 2 chain space, then chain 2, and one single crochet into the 3 chain space, chain 2, and one single crochet into the next space. And we will continue like this until we reach the end of the row. We will finish the row with a single crochet into the last 2 chain space. Now for the front panel, we will work the same pattern, only that for the armhole depth we will work with 10 rows less, because we want to shape the neckline, and for the rest, the last 10 rows, we will work the shoulders separately. So here I am after decreasing the armpit stitches, and I will work now only 15 rows for the armhole depth. Now I place 2 stitch marker marking the necklines and shoulder stitches. I will have 10 V stitches for the shoulders and 10 for the neckline in my size. I will count the first half V stitches as 1 stitch here. And now we will begin to work the first shoulder. So I will begin working into the established stitch pattern with 1 stitch before the marked stitch. We will do some decreases over there. Because the stitch pattern is looking the same on both sides, we will work the same pattern for both shoulders, not mirroring the pattern because it's a little bit more difficult to work it in the mirror. We will need to add a few slip stitches over there that will thicken that edge at the neckline, and I preferred not to do that. So what we are doing on this shoulder, we will be doing on the other one in the same way. So now I'm just working into the established stitch pattern until I will have I will be into the stitch right before the marked stitch. So here I am into the last 3 chain space where I will make a single crochet V stitch, and then into the marked stitch I will go with only 1 single crochet. Then we will chain 2 and turn. And into the first 3 chain space we will work 1 single crochet. So this is how we did the first decrease. So 1 single crochet, then chain 3 and another single crochet into the same space. So we continue now with the established stitch pattern until the end of the row. So this is now my last stitch. This single crochet V stitch is the last one. Now we will go back, so after turning the row, and we will consider as the last stitch that single crochet V stitch that we did after chaining 2. So up to that one we will work the established stitch pattern, and in that stitch we will repeat the same thing as we did on row 1. So we will finish with 1 single crochet into that last stitch. So I'm finishing now the last single crochet V-stitch, and into the last one I will go with a single crochet. And now I will repeat chain 2. I will count the V-stitches because I want to have 8 for the shoulder. So now we will continue chain 2 and working the single crochet V-stitch into that first space and continue to the end of the row. So this is actually our 4th row, so we will go back, and now into that last stitch we will do the half single crochet V-stitch that we normally do at the end of the row. So this is our row 5, and we will work it as a regular row, finishing into the last stitch with that single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet. And then we will have, like, we decrease the number of stitches that we wanted to decrease, so we decrease with 2 V-stitches in total. And now we will continue after finishing this row. We will have 4 more rows to work to finish the length of our front panel on this shoulder. And then we will repeat the same pattern for the other shoulder. We will rejoin the yarn at the outer edge and start using the same stitch pattern. Now after finishing these 4 rows, we will still have to work that final row to straighten the edge. So we will finish off this shoulder in the same way as we finished the back panel. Remember that we had that last row to straighten the edge. So now I will continue to finish this rows that I have left, and then we will work together. The final row. Okay, so I finished all the rows that I have. Now I will chain only 1 and turn, work 1 single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into the next space, chain 2, single crochet into the next space, and so on until we will finish this row. And again, please follow the same pattern for the other shoulder. We will cut the yarn here after finishing this row, and then you will have to rejoin the yarn into the first stitch at the edge, so not at the neckline, because as I said, we will not work in the mirror the other shoulder because it will be a little bit more complicated to work the decreases for the neckline. Following the same pattern won't affect too much the appearance of the stitch because this stitch is looking the same on both sides. So now let's just continue and work the same with the other shoulder, and then we will meet to assemble this top. Okay, I finished with the other shoulder. Now I can cut the yarn. I can leave a longer tail that measures about third time the width of the shoulder because I can use it to sew the shoulders with the back panel. So now I'm placing the front and back panel one over the other. I'm using the ladder stitch, so I'm sewing everything on the right side of my work. So, but if you prefer joining this with slip stitches or some other kind of stitch, maybe you want to make sure that you will place your top on the wrong side. And after sewing the shoulders, this is how it's looking. Now I'm about to join the sides, but first let me show you how to join how I join the shoulders. So I'm using the long end that I let it before after I fasten off, and then with the needle I'm going into the first stitch of the back panel, and then I'm going back again into that first stitch of the front panel, and I'm getting out with my needle through the next stitch. Then I'm going again into the first stitch of the back panel and getting out with my needle through the second. Now going into the same stitch that we pulled out the needle into the front panel, and then getting out into the next stitch, and we will do the same on the back panel. And we will continue to weave the yarn like this until we finish sewing this little shoulder. And of course that we will do the same on the other side. And then we will be joining the sides. Okay, now that we finished and we saw the shoulders, we can continue with joining the side edges. For the side edges, I'm using the same ladder stitch for sewing, only that this time we will work into the side rows, so we will consider each side row. We will go from side row to the side row. So now I will have to put on the needle the yarn, and then I will have to rejoin the yarn into the first stitch at the bottom. So I'm trying to place this top as straight as possible. Of course that you can use safety pins to make sure that you keep these edges in place and they won't move. And now let's just measure. So I'm measuring to have like about 3 times the length that I want to sew. This is a general rule for this. And then using the same ladder stitch, I will begin to join these 2 pieces together. And of course that we will do also on the other side. So first I will make a knot into the first 2 stitches of both panels. And now I will go into the first side row of the back panel and getting out through the second or next side row. And then I will do the same on the front panel. And then I will go into the same stitch where I pull out the yarn, and then getting out through the next one and doing the same on the front panel. And I will keep doing this until I will finish the entire length. I do like this way of joining pieces together really so much. I'm using it all the time, and before I found a stitch, I was hating to sew pieces together because it was not looking really nice and neat, but with this one I love it. So now we will continue to join these 2 pieces together, and then we will move forward to the sleeves. Now for the sleeves design, I went for that flare type of sleeve, but of course that if you want to just add a simple edge and wear it as a tank top, you can do that. Or if you want to simply make the sleeve straight, you can do that. Anyways, doesn't matter what you like to do. We will begin with one row in single crochet, and I'm beginning into the left of the armpit chain, because when I'm working the flare sleeve, I don't want too many V-stitches on the armpit chain, because I don't want to add too much fabric over there. So that's why I'm beginning from over here. If you want a different type of sleeve or simply an edge, you can start from the armpit seam. Now with a single crochet row, we start working on the right side, and we will work one single crochet into each side row. If you think that your tension is not even, meaning the single crochet stitches are not looking even, either they are looking there too many or you need more, please adjust the numbers of stitches that you're working, or maybe you want to change the hook size so that the stitches will look nice and even. So for the back panel, front panel, side rows, we will work one single crochet into each side row. And for the armpit stitches, we will work one single crochet into each armpit stitch. Now I will begin with the V stitches, so I will chain 4. And to have that flared appearance, I will work right into the next stitch another single crochet V stitch, and then I will skip one stitch and work again single crochet V stitch into the next 2 stitches. If you want a straight sleeve, you need to follow the pattern and keep 2 stitches, skipping 2 stitches in between the single crochet V stitches. So now I will keep repeating this stitch pattern, 1 V stitch into the next 2, skip 1, until I will get to the last stitch before the armpit chain. Because on the armpit chain I don't want to add too much fabric, so I will keep those 2 stitches in between the V stitch. Okay, so now I reached the point, so I am at the armpit stitches. So now I will skip 2 and work 1 single crochet V stitch into the next, and again skip 2 and work 1 single crochet V stitch into the next. Don't worry about the stitch count, you will repeat this section as many times as possible. The same way with the flare pattern repeat, you will keep repeating it as many times as is possible. And then when you reach the armpit chain, you will start to skip 2 stitches in between each single crochet V stitch. So here I have only 2 stitches, but I will still be working one last V stitch, so I won't skip too many stitches. And then we will join with the first chain that we did. Now it's up to you if you want to work in the round only on the right side. I prefer to turn after each row. I know that the stitch pattern might look the same even if you're working on the only on the right side, but I wanted to make sure that it will look the same on the sleeves as for the rest of the of the blouse. So one thing that you need to keep in mind is that always you need to begin your round from the first V-stitch or the chain 3. So you will need to go there with a slip stitch. And we will start every row with chain 4 and single crochet into the same space. Now we will continue to work V-stitch into each V-stitch until you reach the desired length. I worked here 10 rows and I think it's enough for what I want from this from this sleeve. So I worked 10 rows, and now the same as we did with the front and back panels at the top end, we will straighten this edge. So I chained 1 and single crochet, then chain 2 and single crochet into the next space, chain 2 and single crochet into the next space. The edge is looking really cute with those smaller ripples, so if you want to leave it like this, feel free to do it. After finishing with this row, we will slip stitch into the first single crochet, then chain 1, and we will begin a single crochet row, but on the chain 2 in between the single crochet, I will work only 1 single crochet into one of the chain stitches, because the chain stitches tend to be smaller than a single crochet, and I didn't want it to change the hook size, and the second chain is getting pretty smaller after making the single crochet stitch, so I think this proportion will work better. So we will work 1 single crochet into the single crochet stitch, and into the 2 chains in between the single crochet we will work only 1 single crochet stitch. After finishing this row, we will slip stitch into the first single crochet, and now I will chain 1 and I will work slip stitches for my edging. So slip stitch all around to the end of the row. You can use a stitch marker to mark the first chain stitch, because that is the first stitch in the row. It will be easier to know where to finish and where to make your slip stitch. So this is the chain 1 at the beginning. And now I will chain 1 and make another row in slip stitches. This time you need to go with the hook into the back loops, the back small V that you can see behind the V that is showing in front. See it over there. And we will go with one more round of slip stitches, and this will be the final round that we are doing for this sleeve edging. Again, you can keep the ripple but after finishing with the V-stitch pattern, or of course feel free to do a different edging if you have other preferences. Now we will slip stitch into the first chain and we can cut the yarn. Of course that we will be doing the same thing on the other sleeve. I just did it already, and then we will move forward to the neckline. For the neckline we will keep the same 3 rows, so 1 row in single crochet and 2 rows in slip stitches. But first on the front panel we have that uneven edge because we didn't work on the neckline stitches the final row to straighten the edge, so we will need to do that, and I will be doing on the wrong side. because then I want to turn and just continue working the first single crochet row. If you don't want your rows to finish in the front at the neckline after this row where you are straightening the neckline, the front neckline, you can cut the yarn and start the first row of edging wherever you want. So I just rejoined the yarn into the first V-stitch of the neckline, and we will do that row with single crochet into the first space, chain 2, single crochet into the next space, and so on until we finish with this front panel edge at the neckline. And then I will simply go with a slip stitch somewhere to just finish this, and we will chain 1, and now we have to do that single crochet row, and the same as we did for the sleeves on the back panel and front panel. On those chain 2 in between the single crochet stitches, we will work only 1 single crochet. If you want to work 2, feel free to do it. I was afraid that it will curl the edge, having more stitches. Or maybe you want to change the hook size into a smaller one, a 4 or 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, and work single crochet stitches into each stitch. On the side rows, on those decreases, we will if we have a single crochet side row or that V-stitch side row, we will go in 1 single crochet in each side row. So try to adjust the number of single crochet, so according with your tension, with your hook size, to have an even and nice neat single crochet edge. So we will go all around, and then we will go and work those 2 rows in slip stitches, the same as we did for the sleeves. At the neckline, on those decreases, because we had like a chain 2 at the beginning of 1 row to make that decrease, so you can simply go on that chain 2 with 1 single crochet, or if you feel that is not enough, you can go and work 2 single crochet. So adjust according with your tension. The important thing is to have those single crochet stitches lined one next to each other, not too far and not too close, so to have an even edge. Okay, let's finish this row in single crochet, and then we will continue with 2 more rows in slip stitches, the same as we did for the sleeves, but feel free to change the stitch pattern for edging if you would like to. I finished the 2 rounds in slip stitches, and now because I started it here in front, I'm trying to hide that, so I will make that last slip stitch from back to front to make it as less visible as possible, and then of course we can cut the yarn. And now we will do the same 3 rows on the bottom of the top. Of course that you don't have to. We already started with that single crochet row, so the edging is looking pretty neat on the bottom, I will say. But I will do the same edging at the bottom of the top as well, because I want to have it more, I don't know, to be like an even thing on all the edges. And after we will finish with the bottom border as well, the top is finished. We just need to weave in all the ends and block it to measurements, and of course to wear it with pleasure. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!